Let me just conclude the session. It started off very well with the presentation by Dr. Jawad, and he gave us the core values very succinct and very pointed and poignant manner. And I think we can take that recipe that he has shared. We can take that and simply, and in a very stupid and blunt manner, we can go ahead and implement it. It is guaranteed that it will work. So thank you for that recipe. Very rightfully, Dr. Guzar referred to Farabi and then Nadler and brought the two ends together, the inner and the outer, and he gave us an understanding that how we can handle the various challenges, and what can be the process, how we can handle the contradictions and paradoxes, and how we can differentiate in the midst of those activities that we undertake, and how we can develop a coherent mindset. So I think we can refer to that model, and we can find meanings, we can develop interpretations. For you, Dr. Shaban, also, I think that was very useful, that how we can work our way forward. So that was very brilliant, and I'm very sorry that we could not have the time to listen to you and to see your presentation, but I think during the lunch hour we will see if we can benefit from that. Jal Saab has also added a lot of value by I think referring to the work, the commitment and the will of the individual. So the bottom line that I could find is that he emphasized the role of the individual and how that individual can become a change agent, a transformative agent, and how that individual can become a leader and develop a mindset taking stock of the past, of the history, of what has been gained and what has been lost, and then develop a future, and how that individual can walk towards that future and take others along with it. So I feel that he has charged us with that notion that it's I that is most important. Dr. Aslam gave us the model that is available, that is quality model for quality assurance and excellence, and what are the essential pieces that have to be addressed and that have to come together and that have to be aligned for the vision in the institutional context. So I think that was again a very good reminder of what is essential, what is fundamental, and what is basic. And as an institutional leadership, as part of institutional leadership, as dean and chairpersons, what are the building blocks that we need to put together. Let me close by by taking you to the outset and the onset. In many ways, they represent a state. They have a state-like institutional boundary. They have a state-like membership and citizenship, and they have a state-like leadership. So universities are building blocks of the state, and within them, within the institution of the university, they act and they work pretty much like a state. So they can be as meaningless, as ambiguous, and as uncertain, as turbulent, and as detached and remote as a state can be for a citizen. And yet they can be, and having just bare minimum relevance of telling me that I am a Pakistani and I hold a Pakistani ID and a Pakistani passport, and I have a residence within this state. That's the minimum. But at a maximum, I am motivated that being Pakistani is my identity, and I have to work for my state, and I have to help the state perpetuate itself, and to help this state to be growing and progressive, and becoming respectable, dignified in future, helping state solve its problems in the present times. So universities are pretty much like state, and we as citizens are part of that state. And universities have extraordinary significance. The way they influence the life, the way they influence the world of work, the way they influence the functions of the state, and the way they build the communities, and they shape the state, they transform the state, or they make the state fade away and become weaker and weaker. So I think that it is our good fortune that instead of working in a corporate sector organization, or just in any NGO or anywhere, or running any business, we are part of a very dynamic institution, which is a prototype of a state, and which is the building block of the state, which has the DNA of a state, and which is itself a cell of the state, and having tremendous, I would say, universities would outcompete all other institutions like media or others, having the capability to influence the life and work and business of the society, of people, and of institutions within the state. So that's, I think, one thing, and I can go on to the universities. Look at the influence that LUMS has been able to carry and mark in the world of business, due to its successful leading MBA programs. Look at the influence of maybe PIAS, that how PIAS has defined the technology and the knowledge and the application of the physics in Pakistan, and so on and so forth. NDU, that how NDU has helped maybe the thinking and reflection on the defense of Pakistan. So universities means a lot for the state. University means a lot for the people. Not just the faculty and students who go to the university, but the society within which the university is having the life, and within which the university is embedded. So it is indirectly also influencing the society overall and the state. So here comes the challenge. Dr. Gulzar talked about how to catch the cat which is up there in the mountain. So I think one way is to land on the top of the mountain and then call the cat upwards, all right? Because if we start from below, cat will walk up, and the distance will increase. So let's go to the top, and this is one thing that comes up to my mind, and this defines then the role of faculty, role of students, and the expectations. So here is now open challenge, open spectrum, and an open horizon for all of us to develop ourselves, which is as a person who is then part of this kind of institution. Secondly, the advancement and progress of nations in future depend upon university. Universities carry the nations to the future. So which means that I have to look to the future. We have to plunge ourselves into our current times. We have to, of course, make sense of what has gone before in the past, but we have to then be able to see long take a long view of the future and do things now in this classroom, standing behind this rostrum, talking besides this board and showing things on the slides which will be futuristic, which will help them tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So because we are future builder and we are the architects of the future. So here is then the most exciting role of the faculty, and that how we become someone who is who is from future and who is then developing this society, developing the people to be good at future time. So those who are here working, studying with us, they will have a career span of about 30 years, 40 years, starting from next 2, 3, 4 years. So let's say from 2020 to 2060. So have we thought what's going to happen 50 to 60, 40 to 50, 30 to 40? And do we talk about that? Do we have any ideas about that? Because if we have, I think we become a very good faculty member. So advancement and progress of nation, strength of nation depends upon the work of the faculty. And this is the challenge for the faculty. Third is we are knowledge banks. We are knowledge capital houses. And we are the custodians of knowledge. And then we are the ones who would shape the knowledge and who would disseminate the knowledge, who would collect the knowledge, and who would then advance the knowledge. So if we have left out something, if our command over knowledge, our mastery of knowledge is weak, limited, confined, and not to the full, not even up to the basics, then we are not faithful to the work of the university, and we are ill-equipped to walk to the classroom. So a mastery of the command and the command over the knowledge set that is required is the starting point, and that makes us faculty. We become faculty because we are ahead in time of, that we have learned something ahead of our students. We learned something that we have learned something 4, 5, 10 years before what we are teaching now, and we are presumably better learner, a smarter learner than them. So these are the two competitive edges. Otherwise, our students today, I think, they are equally adept and smart with the help of the technology to find out what they need without any recourse to any university or any textbook, and they can develop their mindset and everything. So now we are in an arena where our students are empowered, equipped, they have access to knowledge. Their access to knowledge doesn't depend upon the knowledge of the faculty. Their access to knowledge is all pervasive, and they can even know better, and they're ahead of us maybe and more than us on some issues. So as a knowledge bank, if we are banking officer, then we have to be trustworthy, we have to be ahead, we have to know about our role in that. And if we just relate ourselves to the fact that universities are extraordinary institutions affecting the world of work and the lives of individuals and societies within the context of the state. Number two, that we are responsible for shaping and engineering our nation and society and its advancements and progress in future. And third, that we are part of the knowledge bank, and we are knowledge teachers, base teachers. I think these three things are enough to place us at the highest level where we should be, and make our job and our life so interesting, so exciting, so overwhelming that we would not have any second or any minute spent outside of it. Thank you very much.